we are happy with this result. Quite obvious. It will give us even more belief, but we also have to see under our eyes that we have to work good. We have to invest a lot. And if we want to be successful, we have to improve much more than we are now.
About the first goal, a lot of we talked about offside or not. What's your opinion on it?
Rashford is offside. Bruno Fernandes not. Intervened Rashford to distract the keeper and our central defender. This is what it is. So, but we know where we play. There is here stadiums that we know exactly where we play. And for the referees, it's not easy.
The first goal is a joke that it's gonna be allowed like this. For me, in that situation, I see Rashford is clearly offside, so I play him on offside, and he runs really till the last second, and he stops, like when the ball is in front of him, and he's right in front of Eddie to score the goal, and then he stops because Bruno is calling him from behind that he is not in offside.
I wouldn't be happy when it was my team as well, when I concede a goal like this, so I can see the disappointment on the other side.
What about this scoring run? 7 in a row and 9 in a row at home, which has equalled a club record that stood for well over half a century.
Yeah, it stood for a long time. But yeah, I'm obviously pleased to get on the score sheet again today. So yeah, just look forward to the next game and try and keep scoring.
In general, I don't have regrets, so I don't care if we don't win the Carabao Cup, and now I don't care if we don't win the Premier League. We will try, but I don't care. I want a team perform like we performed today. It was quite similar to the many years we have been here.
Yeah, it's obviously always a great feeling to score a winning goal in any game, but I think, you know, it being a derby and being at the Stretford end, it makes it a little bit more special. But yeah, it's a tough game. You know, not many teams come back against them because they're so good on the ball. They keep the ball, they pass it around really well. So yeah, it was massive to get the first goal, which Bruno did very well. And then yeah, we just kept trying to put the pressure on and try to nick a goal, and that's what we did.
Must care a little bit.
Of course he cares.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford's fine run of form continues, cracking win for Manchester United. But let's deal with the controversial goal for a start with. Let's have a look at the law. To give us some kind of understanding and context. A player in an offside position at the moment the ball is played is only penalised on becoming involved in active play by preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by clearly obstructing the opponent's line of vision, or making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. Now, of course, in times gone by, yes, Ian, we used to have a law where if you're offside, you're offside. If and you were deemed as interfering, where the referees could use a little bit of common sense. Now everything is so meticulous. They've given themselves almost with these laws and the complicated nature of the laws, it's making it so difficult for referees and everyone to know what's onside and what isn't.
It is, because when you look at it, when it goes through, and even Akanji, listening to Akanji saying there, he actually stopped to play him offside because he saw that he was running offside. That's what...
So, should it have been offside, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it should have been offside.
Yep.
I think once you see here, Akanji now actually, he stops because he could see Marcus Rashford running offside. And so he stops. Now, the thing is, Marcus Rashford doesn't touch the ball. OK, but at the same time...
Which is why, obviously, they didn't give it offside.
Exactly. But then you're looking at Ederson. Ederson's coming out now to try and stop and narrow his angle. Then all of a sudden, here comes Bruno Fernandes, who's onside. So... You just think is he interfering?
It's kind of an unwritten law amongst the refs that says it's not physical contact.
Yeah, but he's interfering because, firstly, Akanji's tried to play him offside, and Ederson is going to try and save the stop. So he's interfering.
So
with
the referee did
instant.
eventually flag, and so the referee's assistant did eventually flag. The referee goes over to him, they have a conversation. But Ederson thinks Rashford's going to shoot.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden Bruno's come out of nowhere. But I can't understand why the assistant referee is flagged there, because, like I said, Rashford hasn't touched it. Bruno's come in and touched it, but Rashford has taken all of everybody's attention.
It's a shocking decision. Let's be honest.
But it's an understandable decision because of the nature of the way the laws are now written. They're so complicated.
The nature of it. Me as a defender, if someone's there, you're playing up front, you run offside. I'm constantly adjusting my position towards where you're going to be. So I'm not worrying about anything behind me. I'm worrying about you. If you're offside...
Yeah, we're not bothered about it.
We're not bothered.
Yeah,
You're thinking, well, you're not doing your job. You're trying to keep a high line, which is an art in defending. So now they're stopping you from doing the defending.
I can't understand how you can possibly say that Rashford was not interfering.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, with the play in whatever kind. Leaving that aside, great win for Manchester United, and Ten Hag's tactical plan worked, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought Man United were absolutely brilliant. You see them in a 4-2-3-1 formation here, and so many times in the past we've talked not knowing their jobs. They knew exactly what they were doing today. Look at Haaland coming all the way to the halfway line to receive the ball. They blocked all the space in between the lines in the middle of the pitch, and everyone knew exactly what they were to do. When Casemiro drops into a back five to stop the space from going in behind, and this is a Man United who now are organised, they're passionate, they have structure, they have balance. Fred comes into the team, knows exactly what he needs to do, whether it's going on Bernardo Silva or going on Kevin De Bruyne, and I just thought it was an excellent defensive performance from them. Everyone look 5 yards, everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. Man City, we know they like to circulate the ball and recycle it, but at times Man City didn't know how to break them down, and that's because of the organisation of this Man United team. And then when they had to press, don't win. Fernandes of the past has been accused of being selfish, going to press by himself, but now it's a trigger point. When one goes, the other one goes. Man City go all the way back, again, left towards the keeper, again, backing him up, defence there. Man City actually could get out here and they make a good pass, but then back in position, Kyle Walker tries a pass, and then Man United get the ball back. And we've talked about Man United, and everyone's quick to give them stick when they're doing well. Yeah. We have to give them praise today because I thought they was outstanding.
They're not tactically.
I suppose when City did get control of the ball, they also struggled to find Haaland at top.
Well, they did. It's almost as if they don't know what his strengths are, because he wants to attack the back, he wants to go long, and I think that look at the space on the ball he's got. I think he can put that ball in there because that's not what. They don't want that. Shaw doesn't want that. Varane doesn't want that. And he threatens the back. Again, they gave the ball away there. But then you looked at Haaland in this instance. I think, look at the amount of space he's got on the ball and look at the space that he's running into. Now, if they're not going to be passing it through because they're passing it around, then you're not going to get the best out of this guy. And look how many goals he's scored already. That is his strength, what he does there. I think, again, look, he's off. He's committed a defender. He's in that space, and they failed to pass it in there again. And I'm thinking that they're missing a massive trick. Look, Kevin De Bruyne could play it into him again there because he's made a run, and he could still get it. He doesn't get it, and this was happening all day. People are talking about not having many touches. He doesn't need many touches if you play him the ball when he's running in that direction. Look, watch him here. Look at the space he's got on the ball here. Yep. That is perfect for him. Didn't happen. Didn't get the ball. Didn't go for it. It's a poor ball to him. It's a very frustrating day for him, and they're going to have to start using him like that in games like this.
Fewer shots on target any game this season in the league. So there you go.
Manchester is red in a huge derby. And how significant was the win for Manchester United today?
Huge win, especially after losing the first one 6-3. I thought they played really well. I thought they looked defensively really solid. Manchester City dominated the ball, but they only had one shot on target. And I thought they looked a little bit flat. But credit Manchester United. I thought Erik ten Hag set up the team incredibly well. Fred came into the side. Bruno played a little bit wider, had an extra body in there. And in a way, it worked. Even though they didn't have much of the ball, Manchester United, they were the more dangerous team, especially in the first half. And they won the game deservedly. And they go within a point of Manchester City. I mean, at the start of the season, no one would have predicted this.
No, they're playing really well, and deservedly so. I mean, you look at their run leading up until this point. I guess a lot of people would have said they've not really played anyone of note, not of note, but anyone in and around them. But to go and beat Manchester City after the reverse fixture, because I'm sure a lot of people would have said Manchester City will win this game. But as Owen said there, I thought Manchester United played really well. Defensively, didn't give up any chances and reacted really well to going a goal down. I know there's a bit of controversy around the first one, but they didn't just go 1-0 down and then just go, that's it, would get beat 2-3-4.
Which they might have done in the past.
Exactly. They stayed in the game, they worked hard, they got their opportunities, and to be fair, at the end, they deservedly won the game.
Well, let's talk about that controversial moment, because it's been spoken about a lot since the game. So, Bruno Fernandes' equaliser. Owen, should it have stood?
Well, I mean, I think Marcus Rashford's offside. Akanji steps up because, you know, he's playing him offside. He knows that he's in an offside position. Bruno Fernandes, when you gesture that much, he's basically trying to make a point. But look at Akanji there. He steps up, he allows Marcus Rashford to go offside. You know, so I think that affects, obviously, Akanji, that affects Ederson. The refs are going to say they have a rule, and because the defenders, he doesn't impact the players. But I feel like he does impact the outcome of it. I mean, it's favourable for United, but I still think, looking at it, it looks offside to me.
Yeah, for me, it's 100% offside. I mean, for me, it's about interfering with play. And Marcus Rashford is quite clearly interfering with the ball. If you look at where the ball is in front of Marcus Rashford, it's almost like he's dribbling with it. It's about a yard away from his body. And I think Akanji, if Marcus Rashford stops and Akanji would see Bruno Fernandes coming, he reacts differently. He'll probably put a sprint on and get there before Bruno. But the fact that he thinks he's done his job, right, I've played him offside, and then they allow it to continue, and then Fernandes scores, for me, he's interfered with play, he's affected the goalkeeper, he's affected the defenders, so it shouldn't have stood.
Because Marcus actually looks like he's going to go towards the ball, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Normally, you know, they'd say if you make an attempt at the ball, it looks like he attempts it and then he ends up leaving it when he sees Bruno.
Well, so both of you, Owen and Darren, they both think that that he is impacting the defender and the goalkeeper. So there's only one man to talk to in this moment, and that's the former Premier League referee, Dermot Gallagher. Hi, Derm.
Hi, Sima.
I'm sure you've had a very busy afternoon with this question being asked to you many, many times. But what do you think? Should the goal have stood?
I think if the flag had gone up and the referee had whistled, I don't think we'd been arguing too much about it. What happens then, it pans out that Darren flags offside because Rashford's in an offside position. The ball goes in the net, so the game's dead. Stewart goes across to Darren, asks him. It's interesting, if you see the angle from behind the goal, you'll see what Stewart... See, this effectively is Darren Cann's view. Now, there's no question he's offside, but being in an offside position isn't in itself an offence. The second part that comes is, does he interfere with play? Well, no, he doesn't, because he doesn't play the ball. This is the angle. This is the angle the referee's got. And he decides it's all about, does he impact? Now, he's looking at that and he sees where Akanji is. I get what the two guys are saying about Akanji's run. This is what Stewart sees. He thinks Akanji's not in play. Walker's not going to get to Fernandes. The thing is, does he impact on the goalkeeper? If you go back slightly, you'll see that Rashford actually starts his run towards the right-hand post. If you see when the ball's played now, it's very interesting what Rashford does, because he's actually going to his right. So that's where his run goes. And now he changes direction. So you say, does he go towards the ball? Does he impact on the goalkeeper? Because the goalkeeper sees the change there. Now, the referee decides he's so far away from the goalkeeper that I think he makes the decision. He doesn't impact on Akanji because I don't think he believes he can get to it. He obviously doesn't impact on Walker because Fernandes is ahead of him. So it's all, does he impact on the goalkeeper? Now, you'd say, is he going to take a shot? Fernandes comes and takes a shot. What happens then is Stewart decides he doesn't impact on Akanji or the goalkeeper, so he allows the goal. The VAR can't get involved because it's not a factual decision. It's not, is he offside, is he not? It's, is he impacting? It's a subjective decision, and the referee has made that on the field. So therefore, there's no evidence for the VAR to say the referee hasn't gone on what's seen. So therefore, it's the on-field decision. The referee has determined that decision.
I mean, sorry, Dermot, it's just on. If we could rewind that last angle back, Dermot made a really good point, you know, about Marcus Rashford and when the ball kind of runs across him. But if you actually look at Ake, nobody's looked at Ake yet, but Akanji plays offside. I think he affects Akanji. I think he affects Ederson. And watch Ake on this angle. He actually looks over at the linesman thinking, watch, as this ball, look, keep an eye on Ake there, the ball's just gone past him. He puts his hand up offside, and then he looks at the linesman. So effectively, he's affected Akanji, he's affected Ake, who's one of the other defenders, and I think he affects Ederson. Is he going to shoot? Is he not? So I can understand why the refs gave it based on the letter, the rule of the law. I just think if you're a player out there, everyone's got their hands up, everybody's looking at the linesman, goal, everybody thinks it's offside. And so it's confusing because the rules are always changing. And I think it makes it even hard on the refs to when they make a decision, can they get it right? Puts a lot of pressure on everyone.
And it actually also brings in the whole conversation about the clear and obvious error. You said, Dermot, that obviously VAR wouldn't get involved because it wasn't an obvious error. But then isn't the whole point that we want to get to the right decision? And if they had looked at it a few times, perhaps they might have come to another decision because they might have taken into account what Owen's just said.
The problem is, Seema, that it isn't a factual decision. It's a subjective decision because the referee has made that. It's not... Normally, they don't have to go to the screen for offside because the VAR decides, yes, he's offside or no, he's onside, and the game restarts. But because this is a decision made by the referee on does he impact, because he doesn't play the ball, so it's all about does he impact. Does he impact on Akanji? And as I showed, that angle it shows the referee looking, he'll think, no, I don't think he'd ever consider Aki because he's too far away anyhow. Does he impact on the goalkeeper? Well, he does change his run, he goes very close to the ball. But I think on what Stewart sees and what the decision makes, the VAR has no right to intervene.
What do you think you would have done, Derm?
I actually think it's easier to give the offside, and I think if you give the offside, I don't think a lot of people will be arguing. It goes in the net, there'll be a debate, but there won't be the same debate we're having now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, thank you, Derm. Always appreciate your input. And we're going to continue analysing exactly what happened in the derby because there was no controversy over the second Manchester United goal, was there?
No, there wasn't. They played really well again. Bruno Fernandes involved with really... This passing from Bruno Fernandes, fantastic. That set away Garnacho. But if you look at Rashford's movement here as well, he actually wants the first one, and that's how he ends up. He points to where he wants it, doesn't get the ball, but he just... Because he tries to get that first bit of movement, that's how he finds himself in that position. And it is a really good finish because Garnacho here works really well. But if you watch Rashford in this position, listen, he makes the movement and he points to where he wants the ball, but the ball doesn't come. So he's pointing it there, doesn't get it, and that's how he finds himself in that position, Owen, to tap the ball in the empty net.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just you can even score ugly goals, they still count. You know,
Yeah.
Marcus, I think before he wanted to score pretty goals, you know, he was smashing the ball, just be there. Garnacho puts in great service. But credit Erik ten Hag, he knew there would be spaces on the counter-attack. He knew City would commit bodies forward, and the counter-attack was on all day. And that new celebration from Marcus, we've seen a lot of that lately there, that one there. I think we saw Danny Welbeck do it as well. But he's on fire, Marcus Rashford. And credit to him, you know, he's really bounced back and he's been in brilliant form.
How impressed have you been with how this Manchester United side have just turned things around?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, he's got them playing, Erik ten Hag, but there's a clear philosophy in the way he wants to play. I mean, he's clearly done his homework, certainly in the game today, where he knew that Manchester City would dominate possession, keep possession of the ball, but he just left Rashford. I know Martial started as well, up the pitch, using their pace. Every time someone won the ball, it was so evident. The moment it was one pass and bang, in behind, and they caused Manchester City so many problems. So I think Erik ten Hag deserves a lot of credit, but I think the players as well, people like Marcus Rashford, taking the instructions on board and implementing that in the game. I mean, they're on a fantastic run, and as I said, you can't rule them out of the title race now. You really can't, because they're playing as well as anyone.
Are they in the title race for you, looking at where they are? Within a point of Manchester City now.
Yeah, they're close. But if you look at the goal difference, you know, plus 26 and plus 28 for Arsenal and Man City. So United are way behind in terms of goals scored. And that's one of the only reasons I'd say maybe not. Defensively, they're one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, they're in great form. But, you know, they're there with a shout. I mean, it's Arsenal's to throw away now. I'm with Benty. You know, you still think about Man City and, you know, winning the league so many times. They're the favourites. But United, you know, to be in this position, they're within striking distance. And I think that's all you can ask for right now.
Any concerns for Manchester City?
A little bit, because you think, do you know what I mean? They just don't look at the last couple of results. They don't look like they're normal Manchester City. But again, as I said there, I've got no fears with Manchester City because we've seen them time and time again go toe-to-toe with Liverpool for the last 3 or 4 years, where they're having to win 10 games in a row, 11 games in a row, just to kind of pip Liverpool to a title. So if it becomes a straight shootout, listen, Arsenal are in the mix, they're top of the table, they've got a nice little cushion there. But if it takes going to the stretch and winning games consecutively, Manchester City have been there and done it before. So that's why I give them the edge.
1-0 up and Bruno Fernandes' goal stood. So, what was the interpretation here?
Wow. Well, when I first saw the goal, I must admit, I thought Rashford's not touched the ball, not interfered, so it should be counted. When I watched it again, I'm actually changing my mind. I think he does make a movement towards the ball. I think if you take Rashford out the equation, possibly Ederson, and the two players that are chasing him down all get there before Bruno. I believe that could happen. So he has definitely directly influenced that goal by being offside. And I think, on balance, it's probably an offside decision.
Berber?
Who knows what the rules are anymore? I mean, we are discussing here a lot of options, and if you ask Sean, he's going to tell you it's offside.
Well, we know that. We don't even need to ask that question.
Yeah, if you ask...
If you're in Marcus Rashford's position there, has he been quite clever?
Yeah,
of course.
In letting Fernandes
And I
come
first thought that Fernandes was yelling at him to leave the ball, but obviously probably that wasn't the case because they asked him just now. But he was clever enough to leave the ball. And in my case, now I'm thinking he's in offside. I can agree with Mo as well, with Sean too. And that decision for the referee to make it straight away, because as Michael said, I looked and I now changed my mind, but the referee needs to react straight away there. Did they look the VAR as well? Because we didn't see anything.
Well, let's speak to Dermot Gallagher, because you say you're not sure what the law is and what VAR did. So, Dermot, over to you, my friend. Explain away. What was the process?
Oh, massive decision, isn't it, Steve? You look at it, when I first see it, I thought it'd be flagged offside. When you drill down and you listen to what the referee says to the assistant, how they come to it, I can understand their reasoning.
What did they say?
Well, Darren Can thinks it's offside, doesn't he? He sees Rashford in an offside position. This is what Darren sees. You can see he's quite clearly in an offside position. Well, offside isn't an offence in itself. Stuart Atwell, when he speaks to him, he's got to make up his mind on two aspects. A, does he touch the ball? Well, no, he doesn't. B, does he interfere with an opponent or impact on an opponent? Well, does he impact on Akanji? I'm not sure, because Akanji's always the wrong side of him. Does he impact on Walker? Definitely not, because Fernandes is always going to get there first. The goalkeeper, I'm not sure of. So what happens is Stuart's looking down the barrel. He will know the distance between Akanji and Rashford. He's taken the view that A, he hasn't impacted on play because he hasn't touched the ball. B, he hasn't impacted on an opponent, and he's given a goal. The reason they haven't gone to the screen and the VAR can't intervene is because it's not factual, it's a subjective decision, and the referee must make that decision. So therefore he's made that decision. There's no evidence to say he's wrong for the VAR, therefore goal's given.
Dermot, you know the run by Rashford and in the rules. So let's talk about the run. He runs towards the corner flag he's going, and then he makes almost a total change towards the other corner flag. So there's a massive change towards the ball. Does that influence anything if you're running now towards the ball? Watch his run. He's like running towards the corner flag.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he makes a change of direction towards the ball.
Well, if you can stop it there, if you can stop it there, right, I'll go back slightly.
Yeah.
Right, if you stop it there, right, he hasn't touched the ball, so he hasn't committed an offence in itself. The only other thing he can do now is, does he impact on a defender? Well, the defender is Akanji. Now, that's the moot point. As it rolls on, if you roll it on for me, Akanji is still not catching. So Rashford there still hasn't committed an offence himself, and that's where Fernandes comes involved. And as I say, Walker's not impacted by him. And that, you look at Stuart Atwell. Stuart Atwell has got that view, as I spoke about earlier, down the barrel, and he sees a distance between Rashford and Akanji, and that's why he makes that decision that he hasn't impacted on. Therefore, he's decided to give a goal.
But there, he doesn't look at Rashford as offside. He can't see that Rashford's offside from his position. So, of course, naturally, he's going to let the ball run. But if he's offside and you chase the ball, surely that's you affecting defenders' and goalkeepers' decisions on whether to make a tackle, to come across, or position yourself better. Akanji knows that Rashford is offside, so he's always going to be that offside position. So I don't understand how that's not given.
And this is why it's a subjective decision, Sean. This is why I think it's such a massive call, because the referee, as you see it, as I showed in that view, the one behind the goal, if you look at the referee's position, the referee is looking between the players. This is what I talk about down the barrel. So he will be fed by Darren Can. He's in offside position. And he will then have to make a judgment of where Akanji is, where the ball is, and where Rashford is. And that's ultimately where this decision has arisen from. Because the difference is, can Akanji play that ball? Has Akanji been blocked off by Rashford? Has Rashford impacted on him? And Stuart alone has made that decision. And as I say, the referee's made that decision on the field. the VAR can't go against him because it's a subjective decision, as I said, as opposed to a factual one. And that's why it has to default back to Stuart's decision.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. No doubt we will speak to you later on as well. I can tell you, Baby, you're totally clear on that. What you are clear on is Marcus Rashford's talent, his form, and his ability at the moment to just be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he was, again, 9 games in a row.
Yes.
At home, scoring goals. And that pass from Bruno Fernandes, to me, is the key in that attack, because he see Garnacho running, give him the ball. A bit of luck because the ball is bounced back to him. But then a great cross, Marcus in the right place to score that winning goal. And again, look at that great pass. I mean, for me, this is the key here. Garnacho is still producing goods every time he plays. And here, you can say mistake from Akanji, because maybe he was too tired running back, chasing, and he wasn't aware of, but he should be aware, but in this case, he wasn't.
Again, he's probably thinking he's offside, isn't he?
Probably.
And that's the thing. And he is in an offside position, but the ball actually gets pulled back when we see it from the side. So everything that could go wrong for Manchester City went wrong, of course. And you have to say that the offside goal from Bruno Fernandes was the turning point of the game, no question.